Hey Sioux Falls, construction is in full swing. On today's show, we're going to take a look at Arrowhead Parkway, South Veterans Parkway, and then we're going to go over to the city of T. And then finally, we'll update on Cliff and 229. So we got a lot of updates for you. Stay tuned. Well, we are here at Arrowhead Parkway and Veterans Parkway at the intersection, kind of our go-to spot. Krista, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Shannon.
So certainly a lot of dirt has been moved, but we're just so early yet in the season.
We really are.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about what's happening and what's coming up.
Yeah, so dirt moving, they're hauling it down to the spot in phase 3, so further down Highway 42. And then they've started utility installations. So
Okay.
they're working on utility installations in Hine Avenue. So that's sanitary sewer, storm sewer, water main. And then they're starting work on the pump station 240 water main as well.
Okay, so that's all public utilities.
Yes.
Is there any private utilities that'll have to be relocated around the intersection, or tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that?
Yeah, so private utilities, a lot of them are going to move out of the intersection.
Okay.
So we established a separate private utility corridor for them to move to. So we've got some communication lines, some gas lines that are going to move locations. And then the overhead power lines that are out here will also get adjusted. So they're going to stay in generally the same location, but we have to switch out some poles for some of the larger cuts that we have here.
Okay. So the other day I was traveling through the intersection, and the intersection of Arrowhead and Veterans was black. So I think that there was something that happened with the power. But can you remind our drivers that are going through these intersections, what happens if they expect a signal and it's black?
Yeah, so you treat it like a 4-way stop, or if it's a T intersection, a 3-way stop. So come to a stop, make sure that it's clear, and take turns.
Yeah, it was one of those things. We all were looking at each other and it's like, okay, who goes next? But it was only black for a few hours, and then Excel had got their power back. So it's certainly not planned, but unexpected.
Yes.
Okay, so as far as the installation of utilities on Hine Avenue, when will they actually start then along Arrowhead Parkway? Is it still a ways out, or do you think that they'll get to Arrowhead yet in the month of May?
They'll be there in the month of May.
Okay.
So we've started staking for utilities in Arrowhead a little bit. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah.
So we start with the deep stuff, which is sewer. Then we move up and do water main in about the same location right after that.
Okay.
And then we'll do storm sewer at the top.
So not a lot that the drivers who are driving through the area will see, because
No.
it's back off of the project
Yep.
area, but there's still lots of work going on.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the detour routes. How has 6 Mile Road and Madison Street been operating, Highway 11 in Madison? Have you gotten any concerns or complaints from folks?
I haven't gotten too many complaints. 26th Street does back up. A reminder that 26th Street isn't our actual detour route.
Yep.
It's all the way down to 41st Street. I drive 41st Street and it's wide open, so there's plenty of room down there
Very
for
good.
cars to go down and use the actual detour route. So we have our temp signals up and they're operating.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about then the other project that's nearby, which is 6th Street from Veterans Parkway over to Foss. So as you drive through there, there's still so many orange barrels, and sometimes you don't really know where you're supposed to drive. But is the contractor, is he getting ready to be done with that project? When will the signals go up? Kind of give us an update on that.
Yeah, so we're wrapping up sidewalk installation. We did a little bit of utility installation in preparation for the pump station 240. That was on the east side of the intersection. So now it's just paving everything back and then getting our signal equipment up. So another couple of months, I think.
And is the signal equipment, has it been delivered yet? Because I know that the delivery for signals has been very slow.
Delivery for signals is usually the holdup on a lot of our projects. I believe that everything has arrived. It's just actually getting it installed.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Is there anything that I'm missing? Arrowhead Parkway to the west is still open to traffic. You can still get to the Arboretum going around the detour. And again, any movement on the DOT's project from basically 26th Street out to the river, is that still planned for maybe later this year in 2026?
That is still the plan.
Okay.
We're working through some environmental issues and then also some right-of-way. So.
Okay. So still out there.
Still out there.
Okay, very good. All right, well, thank you very much for your update today.
Thank you.
So behind me is the intersection of 26th Street and 6 Mile Road. And as Krista mentioned in her interview, the official signed detour is Highway 11 and Madison Street and 6 Mile Road, and then 26th Street and 6 Mile through south to 41st Street over to Veterans Parkway. And what we're seeing is that a lot of drivers are shortcutting the detour route and using 26th Street between 6 Mile Road and Veterans Parkway. I mean, it's a shortcut. It's a shorter distance. However, 26th Street is a county highway and it's still outside city limits. So we want our drivers to follow the signed detour route. 26th Street gets backed up for almost that entire mile, and the intersection turning movements at 26 and 6 Mile are a little bit shaky for some people to get through there. So we just want people to use the signed detour route. And as a reminder, in likely June and July, Minnehaha County will be closing 26th Street because of some drainage improvements. So the mile between Veterans Parkway and 6 Mile Road will be closed for much of the summer. So our drivers will be forced to use the detour routes at that time. But we wanted to make sure that everybody out there knows more construction is coming on 26th Street to basically close the road off to drivers. So we are out here on Cliff Avenue at South Veterans Parkway intersection, a familiar sight that we've been out here before. We welcome back Mike Heiberger. We're kind of giving Pat Dressen the day off.
Yes.
So we are here, and I know that there's been a lot of work going on between Cliff and Sycamore. And I would guess just kind of bring us up to speed with where we're actually working at.
Sure. So contractor started a little over a month ago, focused primarily between Cliff Avenue and Southeastern Avenue,
Okay.
doing grading work, as you can see behind us. I would say we had a little bit of a hiccup in that we have the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad line that is in between Cliff Avenue and Southeastern Avenue. We don't have all of our permits yet for a temporary crossing. We've got a lot of dirt that needs to get across the railroad to build the grade on the other side.
Okay.
And so contractors kind of changes operations because of this. And so that's what we have is closure on Sycamore Avenue now, as well as Southeastern Avenue, because we're hauling dirt from the east end of the project back to the west.
Oh, okay. So kind of focusing on the eastern edge. So mainly then hauling operations across Sycamore Avenue?
Yes.
Okay.
Solely hauling dirt. So there's a lot of dirt to build the grade up through this section of South Veterans Parkway, similar to what we saw between
Sure.
Western Avenue and Cliff Avenue. And so it's just kind of changing our plan as we go, just knowing that we aren't going to be able to do all of the work west of the BNSF Railroad.
Okay. So I know that if you check the traffic volumes, which we typically do, we have about a couple hundred cars on Sycamore, south of 69th Street, and we have about 500 cars south of the school on Southeastern. So there's not a whole lot of drivers that'll be impacted.
There's not, and the nice part is that we do have overbuilt routes, whether it's Cliff Avenue to the west as well as Highway 11 to the east. So there's some minor impacts, I would say, to everybody's everyday traffic, but both Southeastern Avenue and Sycamore Avenue are currently gravel road sections. So
Okay.
not a huge impact to traffic, no.
So once the grades get brought up, then will utilities go in then next?
So actually we are currently putting in utilities on Southeastern Avenue.
Okay.
So the water main and sanitary sewer are currently being installed on Southeastern. That's why the closure that we have there. And then like I had alluded to, we're hauling dirt from the east side of the project west in between Southeastern and Sycamore Avenue. So
Okay.
that's why the closure needed to happen on Sycamore.
Okay, so then time frame for those expected closures on Southeastern and Sycamore throughout the summer, or what are your thoughts?
I would say throughout the summer. Again, we'll see weather delays or otherwise would be encountered, but I would anticipate we're probably looking into that October, November time frame before those are opened back up.
Okay, and I hear a train horn blowing. When would we anticipate then the contractor actually to get those permits and start working then closer to Cliff?
Yep. So we're working closely with BNSF. We're looking at that June time frame. That's kind of where we're at right now. And again, the nice part of this project is we don't have a lot of impacts to the traveling public. We can do a lot of our hauling of dirt and not impact our residents.
And June will be here before we know it.
And June will be here.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you so much for your update today.
You bet.
So our next stop is out here on Heritage Parkway, which is a street extending to the north of the city of T and 85th Street. So we're kind of out here in the country. We welcome Ben from HDR, who's the city engineer for the city of T.
Thank you.
So Ben, we talked to you last year, so welcome back to the show.
Thanks again.
So still on the same project, because last year we were working more at 85th and Sundowner, right?
Correct, yes.
So what's going on? Anything down there right now?
So most of the work last year got completed in the fall.
Okay.
And so that intersection was open to traffic in the October-November timeframe.
Okay.
So people have been driving through there as normal. Again, not a lot of traffic at the moment since it's not connected to much, but it is open.
Okay.
All the concrete work is done. We've got signs up and the whole shebang. So we also graded the road from that intersection to where we are and behind us last year as well. So we're getting ready to pave that in the near future, but our focus in the moment has been the roundabout behind us here.
Excellent. Wonderful. So let's hop back over to 85th and Sundowner. Can you give our viewers an update on where the interchange design is at?
Yeah, you bet. So as we understand, the interchange design is coming along, and I believe it's planned to be bid at the later end of the summer, early fall.
Okay.
With, I assume, construction beginning maybe yet this fall and into the next year or two.
Wonderful.
So we'll see more from that from Sioux Falls and the DOT on that one.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Because then we also are working on paving Sundowner Avenue, right, from 85th Street up to 69th Street, but that likely won't come for another couple years or so.
Correct, yeah. So actually for 2 miles of Sundowner Avenue, for the city of T from Gateway Boulevard up to 85th Street, the same intersection we were just talking about. We're working on designs for that so it could be constructed and paved in the next year or two in anticipation of that same interchange getting ready to open.
Yep.
And then similarly for 85th up to 69th Street, same thing, working with City of Sioux Falls to also plan to pave that so we have paved access from all directions.
Excellent, excellent. So as we travel along 85th Street, certainly the north side of 85th Street, which is the Sioux Falls growth area, looks a lot different than the City of T's growth area, which is the south of 85th Street. So there's a lot more rooftops out here. Oh my gosh, you guys are just growing like crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in northern T at the moment.
Yeah.
As we can see behind us here, there are several homes and townhomes popping up with some new subdivisions, so that's exciting to see. They are growing right up here to 85th Street, which is another driver, to get the road ready and in place so people can access those areas. Fortunately, we're a little bit ahead of the game with being able to construct the road as we are at the moment, so we don't have to disrupt too many neighborhoods and travelers coming and going to their new homes.
Very good planning by City of Sioux Falls and the City of T.
Half a step ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's focus on the roundabout. So it looks like all the concrete work is done. Is that
correct?
And then, so what else is there left to do then?
So we'll have to piecemeal the rest of the road from the roundabout back to connect with Heritage Parkway to the north and south.
Okay.
And then again, like I mentioned, we'll pave 85th Street from the roundabout behind us through where we're standing back toward Sundowner Avenue as well. So we're going to continue the focus in the roundabout area at the moment because we've got this wonderful diversion road around the area, so we can work on it pretty much uninterrupted. And then we'll pivot back to, getting 85th Street all finished up.
Okay, so are they going to have some median or this roundabout center of the circle landscaping and stuff?
Yep, we are going to do some plantings and such. The roundabout, because it's still a little bit of ways from the city at the moment, we don't have a water supply for it, so we're putting some drought-proof plantings and some trees in there. The cities will still come and, water it intermittently, so it'll be something nice to look at. Okay. We haven't committed to sculptures or anything or really fancy. That might come at a later date, maybe when more growth occurs around the area. And then 85th Street as well is predominantly just a rural, kind of like a county highway. Okay. So there won't be curb and gutter and stuff like that, but it'll still get people from point A to point B pretty effectively. Now, once we get over to the Sundowner Avenue intersection, as we finished last year, that does have some more aesthetics because it's urbanized and intended to connect with the interchange, which will have similar elements.
Okay. Is this considered a single lane roundabout?
It is, yes. We're not going to complicate things too much. Yeah, just one lane for everybody to drive around in one circle. So we believe that'll work pretty effectively for quite a long time. Again, if it needs to be added to with an additional lane in the future, we don't have a curb on the outside, so it could get widened out more. And it could also get converted to a normal intersection if we urbanize like crazy out here in the near future. albeit we'll kind of see what happens.
Sure. Well, compliments to a lot of the drivers. They seem to be actually driving slowly through the construction zone. Well, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So very good. Okay, well, I certainly appreciate your time today. This has been a great update, and if you haven't gone out in this area, certainly take a drive, because it's a pretty exciting area to be part of, I bet.
Yeah, you bet. We think we'll be done here before the 4th of July.
Wonderful.
So.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, our last stop today is out at Cliff Avenue and Interstate 229 interchange, and oh my goodness, Kirk from the DOT. It certainly looks different from the last time we were out here.
We are definitely in the full swing of construction.
Yeah, so lots of dirt being moved and lots of orange barrels. Let's kind of focus first on the dirt that's being moved behind us. What's going on?
Yep. So right behind us we got Metro and Runge have kind of done some rough grading for the new 41st Street.
Okay.
And the water main for 41st Street is already completed. And right now they're currently putting in storm sewer, and then right after that they'll start with sanitary sewer.
Okay, so a lot of the city utilities are kind of being worked on right now. And so 41st Street is closed completely, right, to traffic, and then it's detoured over to Minnesota. So I know in the plans there was also some detention ponds. Is that also what they're working on?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So they've dug about 2 ponds, and then they got probably about half of one more to go, and they should be completed. Yep.
Okay, so as you're traveling south on Cliff Avenue, there's a ton of orange barrels. Are we just trying to give the contractor more space at the 41st Street intersection, or what? Why do you have it narrowed down going underneath the interstate?
So it's just to give the contractor some more room.
Okay.
Just so workers can be safe and the travelers can be safe, and then there is some work kind of south on Cliff where they're doing some pavement repair that they've been doing for about a week or 2 weeks.
Oh, very good. So that was the city's project also. So we've been really coordinating really well, the city and the DOT, trying to lessen the impacts to our drivers, but it's certainly right now we're right at the beginning, so there's a big impact.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the interstate. So the interstate is 2 lanes in each direction, and the traffic is on the temporary bridge. How has that been? Have our drivers been alert and aware? Are you seeing some crashes every once in a while?
Yeah, I mean, we have had a few crashes, and we still encourage travelers to put down their distractions and just, do safe defensive driving, because we definitely don't want anyone to get injured, whether it's a traveler or a worker out here.
Right, absolutely. How about the ramps, the on and off ramps? Are all of the ramps still going to be open through the month of May?
I believe the southbound ramps will be closed, but the northbound ramps should remain open.
Okay. All right. So then also coming up at the end of May, and we'll probably have to come back out, is the closure then of Cliff Avenue, right?
Yep. So right after Memorial Day, we plan on closing Cliff Avenue for the summer, and then we'll at least have 1 lane in each direction open up before school starts.
Okay. Very good. And are the impacts to the bike trail by Excel, are those wrapping up? Are they pretty much done?
We're hoping that here in the next couple weeks, Excel will have all their power moved to their new lines, and then all their old lines down, and then hopefully those impacts to the bike path will be completed.
Minimized. Very good.
Minimized,
Okay. So very good. So I know we had a construction public open house a few weeks ago, and that was kind of the biggest comment that we heard at the open house was, "Oh my goodness, those poles are so big." And full disclaimer, the city and the DOT didn't know they were going to be that big either. So, but everybody needs power, so we need to make sure that that gets done. So, are there any other private utilities that'll be a huge impact out here? Is it just kind of normal DOT project?
Yeah, I mean, you'll still run into some utilities that might need to move up or down, or that we may need to adjust our water main or storm sewer, but I feel like that the utility companies around here and the contractors work pretty well to get whatever problem or conflict solved.
Very good. Well, as we finish the month of May, certainly with Lincoln High School, the students, of course, are narrowed down to 1 lane in each direction. We want to make sure they're also removing all those distractions when they're going through. Very good. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will be back out probably in a few weeks to get another update.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Public Works Update. To stay in touch with all of our street construction projects, please go to siouxfalls.gov/construction and also sign up for our monthly newsletters. Until next time, we'll see you on the streets.